everyone, my name is James Meadows, and today I will be talking to y'all about how to catch fish. How many of y'all like to eat fish? Well, today I will be talking to y'all how to catch 3 commonly eaten fish: bass, catfish, and grouper. I'm going to start off with bass and how to catch bass. Bass are actually located in lakes, ponds, rivers, basically fresh water. And for bass, you need a fishing pole, and it's not a deep sea fishing pole, but it's like a freshwater fishing pole where it's thin, it's not as long. For the line, you need a line anywhere from 6 to 12 pounds. And for bass, what you do is you have a weight on there, and the weight actually drops the bait underwater, and you throw it out there, and you reel it up. For the bait, bass like to eat anything plastic, so plastic lizards, plastic fluke, plastic worms. Wherever you're fishing, that's where you know what the bass like to eat, so which plastic material. You can always switch out if it's not working. But you throw it out there and you reel it up, and you throw it out and reel it up until you get a bite. And you never let it sit there for the bass to catch bass. You always keep on reeling to make the bass think that it's alive and it's moving and it can go up and eat it. Now, catfish is totally different than catching bass. Catfish, you actually let it sit there. Now, catfish, you can use the same fishing pole and the same line, and you can have a bobber, or you don't have to have a bobber. But the point of the bobber is when you throw it out there and you let it sit, if the bobber goes underwater, then you know you have a bite. But you still don't have to use a bobber, and you can still kind of tell if you have a bite or not, but the bobber is a whole lot easier to use. Now the catfish, they like to use live bait. So you can use live crickets, live worms, or you can use what's called cut bait. And cut bait is brim or bass. After you catch them, you cut them up and you can use them as bait. Now for the smaller catfish, that's crickets and worms. Now for the bigger catfish, that's where the cut bait comes in handy. So catfish anywhere from like 10 plus pounds. Man, it could be a little bit fewer pounds, but 10 plus pounds is about average for cut bait. And that's mainly how you catch catfish. Now, grouper is not a freshwater fish. Grouper is found in the ocean, and it's a whole lot bigger of a fish. Now, grouper, you need to use a deep sea fishing pole. Now, deep sea fishing poles, they can be a whole lot longer and a whole lot thicker than freshwater fishing poles. Sometimes they're the same length as them, but they're a whole lot thicker and sturdier and stronger than freshwater fishing poles, just so they don't break as easy. Now, the line on the deep sea fishing pole needs to be about 30 plus pounds, and that's how you know that it's not going to break off as easy as if you had like the 12 plus pounds on there. The line needs to be a whole lot thicker because you're in the ocean, and if you're going grouper fishing, maybe don't catch a grouper, you still need something thick on there where you can reel it up. Now to catch grouper, you need to be about 150 plus feet out in the ocean. This is because that's where the grouper usually swim at. You need to be in the deeper part of the water. Now, when you go out there, for grouper, it's the same as catfish. You let it sit there. Now, you can also use cut bait. So you can use cut bait, or you can use squid, or you can use minnows. Now, this is when you go out there, you put it on, and you have a whole lot bigger of a weight on there, and you let the weight go. When you throw it out there, you let it hit all the way to the bottom. When it gets to the bottom, you're going to see it because the line's not going to go anymore. And you reel it up maybe a foot or two. And you let it sit there until the grouper has a bite on it. And you can tell when a grouper has a bite on it because you're gonna feel something. Now, you can reel it up every now and then, just make sure your bait's still on there. Now, grouper is a whole lot harder to reel up than bass and catfish. Number one, it's a whole lot bigger of a fish. And number two, it's 150 feet down in the ocean, and you're having to reel up all the way till it gets to the top. So who knew there were so many different types of fish, different ways to fish? Fishing has been around for a long time. Our ancestors used it to eat. Nowadays we use it to eat, but also for hobbies and sports. So there's fishing can be very relaxing. Well, thank y'all for watching this video on how to catch fish, and I hope y'all enjoyed it.